What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to very quickly set up this kitchen scene in Enscape ready for a realistic interior CGI. Now this is a model I've downloaded from 3D Warehouse, and it's this file here, the Rome Black Matte With Kitchen. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And what caught my eye with this model itself is just because the provider of it is verified on 3D Warehouse, so it gives you that little sense of comfort that, you know, it's a decent model. There are some absolute disasters on 3D Warehouse, so let's get straight into it. What I like to do first and foremost is see what it's looking like straight out of the box. And then we can make some quick material changes. So that we get a quick sense of where it needs to be. Suppose I should really finish the scene off. What I quite liked about this scene as well were the two windows to the side. That'll give us interesting lighting. See where thickening that, then just remove that light spill. Just a little little cheeky tip there. Go for a nice winter's morning. Get those dramatic light rays in there. Okay, so let's start with this wood texture. Now it's actually not too bad out the box, but I do want to just jump to the SketchUp Texture Club, and let's download a nice wood texture, fine wood. Trying to keep this quick, so I'll just pick anything really, anything decent. And we'll just work straight out of downloads as well. Okay, so wood grain, what have you? Doesn't really matter too much. 2 meters. Maybe actually just reduce that to 1. Okay. Let's jump in the editor. Give the reflection some gloss. Use albedo for the bump. Again, you generally get decent results out of that if you just reduce the amount. Just something quite subtle like that. Okay. And then what we want to do is just replace then the instances where that wood texture appears. And the idea here is that we'll use as few textures as possible, so that when we want to make amendments to those textures, there's only a few in play. Okay, so they're going for a white brick on the wall. This one looks like it's going to come with some bump maps. Which is better, but not absolutely essential. Let's just set that texture for the whole perimeter for ease. Okay, and then same again, jump in the editor. In this instance, because we have got access to a bump map, which you can use a normal map as well for that. I think have we got a reflection map as well? There we go. Excellent. So if we then just zoom in, we can see that that texture's looking pretty decent straight away. Now, materials like this where you've got solid colour, and it does appear all over the place as well, I would actually just say type in a keyword that Enscape uses. My favourite one is marble, because it's just a nice sort of semi-gloss texture. Again, things like that, if you set that to polished with a keyword, that looks really nice. Steel is another keyword, so you can see how we can then use these keywords very quickly to set the scene. Steel again for that. Yeah. Here we've got a granite type surface. So if we type in granite in the texture club, we can then download something like that. There we are. If we just get a closer look over here, granite, replace that texture. Let's see what 1000 mil looks like. Maybe just halve that. Nice. And then if we put polished on the end of that as well, I think that looks really well. And just check any other instances. Is this a texture? That's actually turned out okay. We'll leave that. Just pop a little steel on the end of that one there. Again, let's just assign a marble keyword to that, just so it looks a little bit more convincing when viewing it in Enscape. And what have we got up here? Another keyword up there. Now this sort of splashback here, I would rather that was in a tile. So let's go for black tile. See if we can get something quite interesting. Choose that. There we are. Just jump back into SketchUp. Create new. Not entirely sure why it's a bit funky in SketchUp, but it's working in Enscape, so that'll do us. Then we just want to jump into the editor and just replace the bump. Perfect. And then let's see the effect that the reflection map has. Sometimes I prefer to use a keyword, but let's just see what it's doing. Get a side angle, just see the effect. Ah, there we go, there we go. So just wanted to turn that roughness down. That's better. Okay. Then let's jump to the chairs. Set to keep them black actually. Let's replace that wood texture. Fine wood, medium. There we are, something like that. Where possible, it is better to replace the textures. Especially from this website, you just know the resolution of them is as it should be. Light wood. Need to bump the size up of that. Bloody hell. Okay, that's better. Let's give that a bump. Turn out a bit dodgy. Let's just close Enscape, reopen it. See if that does anything. Yeah, there we go. Spot on. Although now our tiles are looking a bit ropey. So if we just jump into this, select the face, texture, position, and it's just allowed us to reset that, which is good. Let's get rid of the little ad there, sorry guys. Not quite feeling the size of that grain, let's just drop that down. There we go. Okay, not far off. Let's get a nice concrete floor texture. Something like that will do. Where are we? Concrete floor. Let's just bump the size of that up. Now the floor texture is key to any good CGI, so I don't know why it's not giving us the amount option there. Let's use albedo. And then just set that to a much lower amount. Let's see what the reflection map is giving us. Oh yeah, perfect, look at that. Okay, let's unhide everything. Let's just take a quick shot, see where we're up to. Set your capture to Ultra HD JPEG. Okay, test one. See what it's saying. Not bad, you know, getting some nice realistic reflections there. I think all we need to do now really is just add to the scene in terms of assets and things. Obviously the soffit needs a little bit of detail as well, a little bit of lighting. See if we can just add a little recess detail. Just set the field of view of the camera a little bit sharper. Again, just for the purpose of speed, just iron this in. Maybe even just drop that a little bit. Okay. If we just set that as a material with emissive properties, you should get a nice nice lighting effect. There we go, look at that. Okay, now we want to add some spotlights. Again, just iron it in. Just use a grey there and then just put a keyword at the end, chrome. Perfect. And then just put that thickness back on the lid there just to get rid of those light leaks. Okay, so we've got a little bit of nice little bit of light in there. Let's see if we can drop some spots in actually. It's a pain the way Enscape puts lights in like that. About a million clicks. Anyway, if we then just cut that and paste it into our component, should then get a nice lighting effect. So you're just getting those nice shadows on the floor there. And then actually it probably wouldn't hurt to have some around the perimeter so you can have that nice lighting effect on the wall. We could load an IES, but again, for purpose of speed, we'll just keep it as a simple spot for now. See if we can just change the colour. No, leave that. White will do, we can save that in Photoshop if we wanted. Okay, then we just want to drop some assets in the scene. Says there's a kitchen. Oh, I've missed a material here. Oh no, same material as the fridge, that's fine. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to populate our scene with some nice assets. From Enscape's ever-growing library. Some quirky pendants above the breakfast bar. So if we just line these up on the bar, and then we can arrange them to suit. If anything, between the spots looks quite nice. Yeah, I think they're looking a little bit just a little bit chunky. I thought I could manipulate that. Something like that'll do. Again, you can spend more time perfecting that. Right, and then let's just put some wine glasses on. Where are we? It was in kitchen, wasn't it? That isn't the best glass material in the world. strap our arm on in and put a proper glass material to it. Now, while that's waiting, I just want to fill these up with wine bottles. We'll just use the same one for ease. Just so there's something going on behind the glass. Don't have to go too mad with it right now. Let's unhide the doors. There we go, and then just give that a let's say car paint. There we go, look at that. Much better. Just keep an eye on everything in the scene, make sure everything's got a some sort of material assigned to it. Just trying to boost the reflections of the glass, just so the attention's not really drawn to them, or what's going on behind, basically. Didn't catch that before. And that isn't far off. Turn 2-point perspective on. And then just mess with the settings a little bit. Maybe a cheeky bit of depth of field as well, just make it look a bit more convincing. I've got outlines turned on there, just knock that off. Maybe just get the camera height something a little bit more true to eye level. Just hit H there to hide the menus. No, I know I'm being a bit fussy, but I just want to move the stools a little closer so the base of the legs is in shot. Something like that. And if you hold shift and right click, you can then just tweak the direction of the sun. Let's just mess with that colour temperature a bit. Ambient brightness, shadows. There we go, just drop the, I was looking for that, just drop the saturation a touch. Kitchen final, something like that. Now, personally, I'm not that convinced by that metal. I think that metal there is letting the whole scene down. So, what we want to do is where are we? Let's just jump in back into the model. Now, is it because of the texture, maybe aluminium? Could we do like a polished? See, that's looking better. Look at those reflections, much nicer. Yeah, I think that's working well. Let's just see if we can add a bit of a metallicness. Let's just mess with a few of the keywords. I think that's looking much better. There we are, guys. Nice kitchen scene pretty quickly using SketchUp and Enscape. See you in the next one.